'Tis the season. Yes, it is. It is the season that we will receive gifts from others. The challenge is, are we open to it? And I guess we'll talk about the challenges later this week. Today, we're going to talk about the benefits of receiving the gifts that others share with us. We'll talk about that and more on episode 733 of today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning. How are you, Bob?
I'm okay. I love this idea that everyone's going to get gifts. What if they were bad this year and they're going to get cold? That's not really much of a gift, or,
Well,
I'm just saying.
bad or good.
It's
just
an
a
adjective.
judgment.
Wow, I didn't even get a minute into the week.
You walked right into that.
Walked hard and fast right to it. Jeez.
Yeah. Do we have to be one or the other to receive benefit or gifts? We'll talk about that more in just a minute. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Antidote. I don't want to get Bob all fired up before he does the celebrations. Thank heavens we still have celebrations to go. And welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. Each week, we have a conversation around a topic, and this week's topic, actually this month's topic, has all been about gifts. And we've been talking about sharing your gifts, identifying your gifts. And today, we are going to talk about receiving others' gifts.
This week, right? The whole week?
All week. Yes. All week, we're going to be talking about that. And today, we're going to talk about the benefits of receiving others' gifts. As we have that conversation, if you have thoughts or ideas that you would like to share, please feel free to put them in the comments of whatever social media you happen to be following us on, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or
LinkedIn Live, baby.
Yes, indeed. LinkedIn Live. We welcome that, and we know that it'll add value. We'll receive your gifts of sharing your thoughts and ideas, which likely will have a significant benefit on our show. So please feel free to share them. And as we conclude the conversation, Bob and I will each offer our one thing, our today's antidote. That thing that we hope will help you figure out how to take your next step forward when you're stuck, uncertain, frustrated, or overwhelmed, and take the next step along your own unique pathway to success. And of course, if you have one thing you'd like to share at the end, your antidote, please feel free to put it in the comments as well, because we know that it might be just the thing someone is looking for. And they'll never receive it if you don't share it. Before we dive into that, though, each morning, and maybe I'll ask Bob to share why we do celebrations. We do our celebrations of the week. Bob?
Not celebrations week, celebrations a day.
Correct. Celebrations of the day. Sorry.
So the reason we do that is to get us in the right frame of mind, to recognize the things we've accomplished, the things we've observed, what we've done, and I think to take stock of where we are so that we can, in more effective ways, look at how and where we want to go. So to me, so often when we look at where we've been, it's like, wow, I can't believe I accomplished that thing. And then we go from there. So, it could be as simple as, I made a call that I was dreading, or I went to a meeting I really didn't want to go to something as big as I hit my sales goal for the month. We had someone that we were talking to on our Renegade Success Network, our check-in, check-up every Wednesday, and they keep saying, I hit my goal for this week. I hit my goal for the year. And we celebrate that as a group for that person because we knew there was a lot of effort that went into that. And when we realize how much effort goes into it and what we've accomplished, I think it makes it easier to go forward. I know for me, I rarely take the time to think through the things I've accomplished. And I was just thinking this morning, I was like, I've got to come up with something. And I realized I have a client who's been with me now for 3 years, and he actually reached out to me the other day and said, hey, we have to renew for the new year. And I didn't even have to be the one to initiate that. It was just like this was decided. And so I would have not thought about that or had any interaction with that idea had it not been that we needed to come up with a celebration. So I think there's a great example of something that I would have just glossed over, moved on. But now to take that time is like, wow, I must do something good for this client to want to continue working with me.
Maybe you just add a lot of value.
Could be.
Why does it have to necessarily be
Could
judged?
just be them really funny.
Could be. Everyone is looking for different things. So you just never know. So is that your celebration for today?
I'm going to do 2 today.
You are?
Yes, I am. I have a friend who's a teacher, and she has been working last night and this morning on a song at her school. She teaches at an elementary school. At the school, they break the kids into groups so that they cross-pollinate with all age groups, and they have what they call houses, and the houses compete against each other. And they're having a karaoke competition this morning, and she's dressing up in a costume and singing a song from Moana. And I know that she's a little apprehensive about that, but I respect the fact that she worked on it last night. She was working on it this morning. She's a little nervous, and the things that teachers do to make their students just have the best experience in a school is amazing to watch.
That's great.
There you go. How about you?
Well,
You're going to ask me a question.
I am going to ask you a question.
Tread lightly.
I know that last week it got a little wonky because I was sick for a day and then my internet cut out during the show. I believe at some point you mentioned that you had written a song that you were going to share with the group, that you had changed the words to a song and you were going to share with the group. Will we see that?
We will later this week, I think. I was hoping you'd forget. But you'll receive the gift of just the I will post it later this week.
There are a lot of things that I don't remember. And
That's not one of them.
No, there are others that stay with me for a long, long time.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I did make that. I will do that later this week. By the end of the week, it will be done.
Excellent. All right. So my celebration is I have a lot today.
Okay.
So I'm going to try
Seems like one of those days.
It is one of those days. So, and I've actually already celebrated this, just not on the show. So I think if you were paying attention last week or you listened last week, I went home to my hometown in upstate New York for an alumni basketball game and to visit my parents. The basketball game was on Friday night, and I'm celebrating the fact that outside of a little bit of a sore ankle, it's not that bad. I did not get hurt.
That's a celebration. I texted you Saturday morning to make sure.
That was a big celebration for me.
I bet.
Number 2, the Buffalo Bills won this weekend, so that was another thing I will celebrate. Enjoyed watching that as sometimes stressful as that can be. That was a celebration, and they played well, and it was fun to watch, and there was snow and all that. The real celebration, though, that I have this morning was that when I was home, I was able to help my parents put up a rail on a set of stairs.
Oh, nice.
Now, if I was the judging person, I could do a lot of judging around the way that it was done. If I went back and studied it very carefully, there are a lot of things that I could be critical of.
So it probably doesn't meet OSHA recommendations for railings?
Likely not. It meets the few number of steps that my mom has to go upstairs to the attic, and so she doesn't have to hold on to the wall. That it will hold her up for that. So I'm going to celebrate that I completed the action and not judge how it looks or...
I really want to see a picture of it. Did you take a picture of it?
I didn't. Although I could ask my mom to and have her send it.
Is it that bad? I mean, if I looked at it, would I be afraid to put my weight on it?
No, you'd have to look at it fairly closely.
Okay. All right.
You'd have to look at, like, there's a couple of screws that didn't quite make it all the way into the wall. There's a couple of drill points that I thought was a stud that wasn't a stud.
Did you have a stud finder?
Yes, I hate that thing. That thing was a pain in the neck.
Well, you do realize it's like every 12 or every 16, right? So you find one stud.
Well, here's the challenge. It was going up. So there was also the floor of the attic. And
Okay.
so, you're into things that are, now you got whatever. And it just was never clear. And then even if I went every 16 or 18 inches, like then I'd go to drill and the thing would just go and zoop. And I'm like, yeah, that didn't hit a stud. And the last one is a little loose. Not awful, just a little loose. So yes,
Good
I have a
luck, Mrs.
brother-in-law.
Brush.
I have a brother-in-law who is really handy at those things. So I hope that when he visits, he does not do an inspection of the railing.
Oh, boy.
And it's done. It's going to be a true benefit for my parents, and I'm celebrating that.
That's nice. I'm sure that makes a big difference. Probably a great gift. Was it one where they were like, "Oh, we've done this for years. Don't bother, Tommy"?
Oh no, this was part of the trip was to put the railing in.
At whose initiation, yours or theirs?
They asked if I could help
okay.
them do that.
Okay.
So I said, sure. When we started, I'm like, I'm not sure. My brother-in-law was there at Thanksgiving, who could have probably
done it
in
like
about
that, right?
30 minutes, 35 minutes. It took me almost 2 hours. But it's all right.
Did you and your father do it together?
The three of us did it together. Yeah.
Well, that
My
was
dad's
nice.
got some eyesight issues, and so he's not really. He was in a position to be a very good
Foreman?
foreman. Yes. Yeah. And we definitely looked like that was a state-run project. Two people standing around, one person doing a little bit of work, kind of just getting it done. So yes. All right, Mike.
I'd love to have seen video of that.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Anyhow, that's my
Actually, it would have played into our discussion over the weekend by text. It would have been the perfect thing, Tom.
Could have been.
Yeah.
No, I need to. Sometimes that's a lot of sometimes my challenges. I think of things after I've completed them. Oh well, that wasn't the intent. The intent was to help them out, and so
I think that's great. I'm sure it makes a huge difference to your mother, her safety, and her appreciation for going up and down the steps into the attic.
Yes, indeed. All right, so let's dive into our conversation about receiving others' gifts. I think my mom and dad received a gift from me.
Well, and did they? It plays right into discussion. Did they receive it openly, or did they receive it reluctantly, or did they critique it the whole way? Because in another situation, or maybe in your situation, had your father or mother been super critical, you missed the spot and there's holes in the wall, you would have given the gift. I did the best I could, presumably, but they might not have received it really well. And I think we have that happen all the time, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's part of this, right? Receiving gifts. I think we have to be really, I don't know. I can't, I just lost my place.
Are your loss of words?
I am.
Okay. Well, I'll
I'm older now, so.
Fair. That is true. Bob had his birthday. If you weren't listening Friday, Bob had his birthday on Saturday.
Yeah, so I'm old now.
So
the gray hair's coming.
Well, anyhow, we're all a day older every day. So
beats the alternative.
Just one more day.
One more day.
I think that one of the challenges is that when receiving the benefits of receiving others' gifts, one of the benefits is that we don't always see the gifts that they are giving and see them as gifts. So sometimes it's hard to understand the benefits of it. What I think the opportunity there is to know that every time we interact with someone, it's kind of like the conversation a little bit we had about sharing, is that every time we share our value with others, there's an opportunity for someone else to benefit and to receive. And so I think that one of the benefits is that we have an opportunity to be impacted all the time if we are open and willing to see what they are sharing as value. And I think that's one of the pieces that we can always be better at, is seeing the value that others provide and not just seeing it as it's hard to
Yeah,
talk about this
result.
without getting into the challenges. And so I think that
Well, I think there's a close line between the benefits and the challenges.
Sure. And I think to stick to the benefits, I guess, is that everyone who chooses to share with us has knowledge, experience, and perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our benefits is that we have the opportunity to be impacted by that our knowledge, experience, because our knowledge, experience, and perspective is limited. And this is an opportunity for us to expand on that. An opportunity for us to actually listen to what others have to say, observe what others do, and then sort of take from that what is of value for us, so that we can now have expanded our knowledge, experience, and perspective, so that what's real for us continues to change. And I think that's, one of the greatest things that we have in this life, is that almost every minute of every day, we get the benefit of others' knowledge, experience, and perspective, if we are open and willing to see it in that way. And I think that because we all have so many gifts to share, there is so much opportunity for us to be impacted. And and it's just whether we recognize that or not. And I think that's maybe the discussion for, I think, Wednesday, when we'll do challenges, is that sometimes I think we are limited by how we see the value that others share. And I wonder if we can start to see it. Now I'm getting into challenges. If we can start to see it as value, not as feedback, not as being critical or as good or bad or right or wrong. It's just their value based on their knowledge, experience, and perspective. That we
and
have
also they're caring, right? I mean, if someone shares a gift with me, that means they think they're providing me with something of value.
Yes.
They see it as valuable. So if someone gives me, I don't know, gingerbread cookies, I'm not a big gingerbread cookie person. I mean, I'll eat them, but they're not my favorite. I could say, oh, really? You know what? I don't like those. Why would you get me those? I thought I told you I didn't like them. Or I could say, oh, thank you so much. It's really kind of you to think of me. I think often we discourage people from giving us gifts of their time, of their talents, of their resources, because we have a belief in what we know what we think we know what we should get. And often the gifts that are most valuable, at least to me, are the ones that are unexpected. It was one of the best birthday gifts I got over the weekend, believe it or not, was not a gift I would have expected. I got to spend a lot of my morning by myself. And if you had told me 10 years ago that would be a gift, I would have said, yeah, no way. But I got to go. I went and had breakfast at one of my favorite restaurants, and I went and looked at a train display, and I went to a guitar shop and bought a new tuner. And those were all gifts to me from me. And I received them from myself, not going, well, this really stinks. I wish we're around other people. At the restaurant, the woman said, oh, you're usually here on Sunday. It's Saturday. Did you get messed up? I said, no, actually, it's my birthday. And she sang happy birthday to me.
Nice.
In the middle of the restaurant. And she's like, I have the worst voice. And I said, it was really beautiful. And she's like, I don't know why I did that. I've never done that before. I was like, it was really fun. And other people joined in, and people came over and said happy birthday to me. So her gift to me of singing happy birthday sparked other people to come over as they were leaving and say happy birthday to me. And so I think that's one of the real benefits of receiving a gift. I could have said when she started, please don't sing, don't sing.
Right. Correct.
But I didn't. I just enjoyed the moment, and it cascaded into other stuff. And as I was leaving, this restaurant's a place where they always say, have a good day. I'm like, have a great birthday. And other people are like, have a great birthday. And it was really fun. Now, when I tell you the restaurant, you're going to laugh, because if you've ever been there, this doesn't fit their mold. The Waffle House. So this is not a place where typically you have that level of interaction. But I frequent there most Sundays, and I've gotten to know the people. And I think it was an opportunity for them to share something, and for me to receive the gift of this woman singing to me. And I think what would have happened if I had said, please don't, as she started, or you're embarrassing me. Oh, stop right away. Because I think as I looked at people saying to me, happy birthday, they all had smiles on their face.
Yes.
It was unusual. The whole experience was unusual. And I think it was probably something that I know there were people that were getting ready to go out and shop. There were people that were in their frantic Saturday mode. And I think for a moment, they received her gift. It wasn't even her gift to them. It was a gift to me, but it transpired in a way that affected a lot more people. And I think that's one of the real benefits of receiving a gift, is you don't know who else might receive it. When someone in a class gives you, when your teacher says, hey, can I give you some feedback on your paper? And they do it in front of the whole class. Often there are 20 or 30 students who benefit from the fact that your paper is the one they're pointing out the issue with. Sure. And I know I was a teacher, and there would be times where I go to a student before class and say, this is a really great example of something I want to teach everyone. Do you mind if I use your paper? And they would say no, because they realized they were going to get personalized treatment, and I'd show them how to fix it. And because they received that gift went to everyone in the class.
Sure.
And I think in companies, we have that opportunity as well. If we do it in a way that's a gift. If we yell at someone and say, I can't believe you blew that sales call, probably not a real gift to anyone. But if you have the discussion, hey, I heard the sales call didn't go the way you were expecting. Can we talk through how that went and pull the team together and say, hey, guys, let's talk about this sales call, because I think there might be a lesson for all of us here. That's a gift. And the openness of the person sharing what happened and being willing to put themselves in that risky position of saying, I didn't do it perfectly. You saying this morning, that railing probably isn't meeting OSHA requirements. My brother-in-law is probably going to have a couple of laughs when the day comes that he sees it. Still, it's a gift to your parents. It serves the purpose. And your parents presumably received it. I don't think they're going around today showing pictures of it to all their friends going, I can't believe Tom did this. He's, wow. So glad he didn't go into construction.
A lot of people are glad I didn't go into construction.
But that's not, if we had your parents on right now, that would not be what they would say.
No.
I've only interacted with them twice. And I can tell you they would be the proud parents if they heard that you were saying anything negative about it or not saying it was perfect. I bet your mother would instantly jump in and say, it's so nice. It's the best railing I've ever had up to my attic.
Yes. Fair.
Which is a gift, right?
Of course. And
I think it encourages you, because you see the benefits, it encourages you to go up there and do other stuff. If they were negative and didn't receive what you could do, Mom, Dad, I can't come up and do the next task.
Sure.
And we have that at work. We have that in our lives all over the place.
Yes. I think that's the challenge.
Boy, you are destined. Next
really
time we're doing challenges on Monday. You just can't do it.
Well, it's interesting, how we all have our things. And I think that for a long time, I don't think I was good at receiving others' gifts. And I know that that has been a challenge for me, because I guess I was thinking about it differently. And, I think, so I'm sure we'll talk more about that on whatever day we're doing challenges Wednesday.
I can only hope it's tomorrow, because you are geared up for it.
Maybe this would have been a good week for me to start with challenges, at least for me.
Yes, I
Um,
think so. Tom, what's your one thing this morning as we talk about the benefits of receiving others' gifts?
I think that the true benefit is that we allow others to share. There's lots of other benefits for us. Again, as I said, your knowledge, experience, and perspective can and will be impacted. And yet I think that as you sort of alluded to, that we are allowing others to see the benefits of sharing. And that when they choose to do, when we are open to let them share so that we receive, they are more interested in sharing additionally. And that value that they have, while it may only have a small impact on us, maybe the impact is different for us. It may have a enormously significant impact on someone else that had they not shared it with me and I received a benefit from it and encouraged that, thanked that they might not have shared it with someone else who in receiving that the impact was significant. And I think that to me that's the true benefit of us being willing to receive is that allows others to share. And and I think that the more we share, the more value we put out there, the more people that will be impacted. And I think so often people aren't, as we talked about last week, sometimes it's hard to share and we don't see the value of us sharing. And so I think the more we, as the receivers, are open to receive, we're willing to receive, and are willing to receive it as a benefit, as something that's going to have an impact. The impact might be small, it might be significant. It allows others to keep sharing. And I think that's, one of the things is that sometimes we stop and the benefit, we don't necessarily see the benefit, which means the results might change. Like some value that I received somewhere down the road, maybe it was a physical gift or it was something someone said, I might not see the benefit right away. And I might see later. Interesting story is that as I was at this basketball game on the bench getting a breath,
The alumni basketball game at your alma mater high
that I
school.
talked about earlier, yes.
Yeah. Just in case someone jumped in late.
Right. One of my former teachers stopped by and he came over to say hello, and he saw I was going to be here and he wanted to come by and say hello. And something that I think I recognized when he shared it, when I received his gifts back in high school, I knew it had value. I didn't know all the value. So he shared with me a comment about something that happened. It's a long story, but a comment to me about how he saw me in some situation and the impact that could have had on him and might have had on others is how they look at me. And I don't know that I had ever thought about that situation in that regard. And so while it had an impact at the time, the impact on it now is significant. I even said to him, I'd have to tell you that I think about what you said to me 40 years ago all the time. And it is a constant reminder of how I want to show up in the world. And so I think, that again is the benefit, is that I saw a little bit of the benefit and that I know that the impact has been much more significant than I thought when I first received it.
Nice. We've got a comment from Stephen I want to pop up there, which is, you're being modest. You guys are giving a gift. Thank you very much. And I think this might be my sister, Beth. Good morning, Tom and Bob. Enjoy your day.
Good morning.
Have
Thank
a
you,
hunch.
Stephen. Good morning, Beth.
I hope that's Beth. If it's not, I apologize.
So what's your one thing, Bob?
My one thing is, when we talk about the benefits of receiving a gift, we're allowing ourselves to acknowledge that someone else cares about who and what we are. We don't give gifts if we don't care. We just don't. And so I think it builds a deeper bond with the person when we can receive their gift. Like, for instance, a couple years ago during COVID, you came over to my house on Christmas Eve and brought me a really nice gift that was really thoughtful. Like, it wasn't, oh, I went to Hickory Farms and got him a nice little Hickory Farm package. It was a well thought out, I know you like these things. I got these things for you very specifically. And it really meant a lot to me. And it really deepened our bond to me. It was like, wow, Tom really cares about me. I wasn't expecting that. And not that I got you a gift because, I just didn't think of it. And you didn't care.
Not why we give.
Right. And you didn't care. It was clear that you were doing this because you wanted to do it for you. And this was during COVID. So if you remember, we were on my porch.
I do. I remember.
And that was one of the only times we saw each other through all of COVID. And it was a big deal to me. And I could have said, Tom, I really don't want anything from you. Don't do it. But I didn't. I had that urge, but then it was like, you know what? He really wants to do this. I'm going to let him do this. And it really was, I think it deepened our bond. And I think we have that possibility with people, especially people we work with, especially with our supervisors. If we receive their gifts, they have knowledge, they have experience, they have perspective that we don't have. If we receive it that way, anything's possible. Mm-hmm. Versus, oh, he's going to come out and talk to me again. I know he hates the way I do this. Well, maybe there's something to be learned there. That's my challenge to me every day.
There's always something to be learned. There's no doubt about that.
Exactly.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Thank you for sharing that, Bob. And everyone, thanks for being with us today. If you have one thing you'd like to share, you can feel free to put it in the comments. If you're listening to our podcast, we understand that the only place that you can share with our community is to go to LinkedIn, if you're a LinkedIn person, and go to the Renegade Success Network for Leaders. Or if you're a Facebook person, go to the Ring of Renegades. And you can go in there and share your antidote. And you might also pick up something else as well. Someone might have shared something that is of significant value to you that allows each of us to take our next step along our own unique pathway to success.
Hey, Tom, can I jump in with a comment? I'm sorry. From Stephen, this is going to be an awkward Christmas for me because I don't have a lot of money. So I was thinking of writing a poem to each of my family members and making my own Christmas cards. That would be a real gift.
Absolutely.
That's time and effort in a way that going out to the store and buying gift cards and, the trinkets, I think that's a great idea. I think that's it's funny how the creativity comes out when the financial resources aren't there for us. So I think and that's also sharing his gift, right?
Of course. I think sometimes and this is where I would say it's when we are giving, we are sharing our value. Mm-hmm. Others will choose to decide whether they receive it as a gift, as I talked about last week. And I think that's a perfect example of it, is that it's your value, it's your knowledge, experience, it's your perspective. They may or may not see it as a gift at the time. And I would offer that how they may view it in the future might be different. It's one of those things that sometimes they don't understand it in the moment. And yet their understanding or appreciation of the value likely will grow. It's funny, you think about the things, if you went to your parents, the things that your parents probably saved that you shared with them are not necessarily some physical or some super expensive gift. My parents have, I think they still have. I made a star for them probably in first grade. And it was cut out, and it was what it was. And it was at the top of their Christmas tree for a long, long time. And I think that had more value to them, or as much value as maybe any other gift that I gave them. So I think, again, I would say, Stephen, don't judge. Share your value, and they will gain a gift from it. All right, everyone. So, again, we look forward to seeing you inside of those groups. If not, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, for our next episode of today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegade in you. And if someone shares any gift at all, any other knowledge, experience, perspective, were you in a rush?
No, I wasn't. I mistakenly hit a button. Wrong.
If they do, please receive it. Receive it open arms.
And I would say look for the benefits.
There
All right,
you go.
everyone, go out and make it a great day. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.